Okay. I look better because I elevated the camera a little more so you don't see half my friggin' face cut off. I don't have to lean like this in order to be seen. It's maybe better or worse depending on how cute you think I am. Okay, I've made this video because a couple of hours ago I did what I should have done 2 years ago. I joined the NRA. I joined for 1 year, $32. You're allowed 2 magazines. I didn't want the magazines. I just didn't. Maybe I'll get them next year. You get a cap, you get a fucking little patch, little membership card, sticker, you know, cute little things. Maybe one day they'll give you a stuffed animal for the kids, I don't know, but I joined the NRA. And I'll tell you what spurred my desire to do it finally. I was going to do it eventually. I'll do it again next year. You can pay $1,000 for a lifetime subscription, a lifetime membership rather, but I wasn't sure about that, you know. If I paid $1,000 today, I'll probably get hit by a truck tomorrow. But last night I was on the NRA's YouTube page and I saw a video that was published last year on their YouTube page about California laws. Now, in case you've been living under a rock for the past couple of years, maybe a decade or so, you'll understand that California has the absolute worst gun laws in the country. And when I say absolute worst gun laws, I literally mean that in every sense of the word possible. Worse as in the citizens are heavily restricted in what they can own, more so than any other state. Worse as in every time a crime is committed, the politicians run right out and start beating up the gun owners, the legal gun owners, and they don't do a goddamn thing to the criminals. Criminals in California go on the street and buy a fully automatic AK-47 and they kill somebody with it. First thing the politicians want to do is revoke the Second Amendment. And I said in one of my earlier videos, you can revoke our rights all you damn well please. We are not the ones that are out there shooting up the neighborhoods. We're not the ones involved in gang activity. You know, we're not the ones doing mass murder sprees. You know, that's not what we're doing. We're not doing liquor store robberies, in spite of what you think. And there are literally people in this country. I'm not going to say names, but some of them are celebrities. I don't want to dignify their name. That honestly think that criminals go to the store and buy their gun. They think that criminals go to the store, pay for a gun with a credit card, fill out membership form, go through at least 1, maybe 3 background investigations depending on what country, what state you live in. Okay? Register the gun. After all these checkpoints, they take the gun and they rob a liquor store. There are literally people that think that shit. And in California, they have the kookiest freaking laws. You can't own a tourist judge because it's a sort of shotgun. I heard that. I don't have a substantial. A guy commented me on it. But you know what? It might be true. You never know. The AR type rifle is probably the most published, the most produced American rifle. And in California, the AR rifle is illegal. In New York, politicians still do not allow 10 magazines with higher capacities than 10 rounds. But what you can do is, if you live in New York, you can buy an AR rifle. You can go to the market, wherever you go, NRA, gunbroker.com, eBay, gun shop, wherever. You can go somewhere. You can buy a 30-round magazine that was made before 1994, and you can still use it. California didn't want that. They didn't want their gun owners to use 30-round magazines that were made in 1994 or earlier. So what California did was they outlawed the AR rifle. And there is a special AR rifle. It's called the California Legal Rifle. Very few gun manufacturers actually make the damn thing. I don't know where to buy one. And it's a pain in the butt for them to go out of their way to make a rifle just for California. That costs money for them. The California Legal Rifle has I've seen a couple of them on the internet. It has a permanently fixed 10-round magazine attached to the bottom. You open up the top and you top feed a 10-round clip similar to an M1 Garand. That's the best I could think about. I could picture it. I could relate it to you. And, well, let's face it. The criminals, what do they use? They use the fully automatic AK-47 they got illegally in the street. Now, Larry Phillips Jr. and Emil Mazzurano, two of the most notorious names in California history. In, what the frig was the year? 94? They did the North Hollywood bank robbery and shootout. Now, I said in one of my earlier videos they had an HK-92. I made a mistake. It was HK-91. HK-91 rifle with .308 caliber. So it's similar to the 7.62x51 NATO that the M14 uses. They had two fully automatic AK-47s, 7.62x39mm. They had two Beretta 9mm pistols, similar to the ones that the military uses. They had a .38 special revolver, and they had a fully automatic M16. Keep in mind the number one factor of those weapons. Every single one of them was obtained illegally. In addition to that, they had a shitload of body armor, stuff that would stop a hand grenade. They had body armor head to toe, plating, everything you could possibly think of. And they came out of the North Hollywood bank shooting up the cops. Now, in defense of the cops had shit. They had their own 9mm pistol, and they had a couple of 12-gauge shotguns. Now, a 12-gauge shotgun is going to kill somebody 2 feet away, but when you have a man that's 30 feet away shooting you with a rifle, 12-gauge shotgun is meaningless. The shotgun is a close-quarter weapon. So, they went into a civilian gun shop, and they borrowed AR-type rifles to use against the criminals. And they also borrowed like a fucking armored car from they actually bought an armored car from somebody. They saw like bank money delivery people walk around with an armored car, and they said, "We bought your armored car." So they bought an armored car, and they bought AR-type rifles. Now, if the North Hollywood shootout happened today, the cops in California could go to the gun shop and borrow rifles, but the rifles they borrow are the top fed, the bullshit. So the cops in California, they had better have good rifles the next time there's a North Hollywood shootout. I hope to Christ is not, but they better if there is. And I was talking to a friend of mine who she went to high school with me. She lives in California now. She is a liberal, devout liberal. And I was talking around online a couple days ago, and I just mentioned that. I said, California, you got the worst fucking gun laws in the country. She's like, in your opinion? I said, honey, it's not my opinion. It's a fact. It's a scientifically proven fact. You got the worst gun laws in the country. I think certain jurisdictions have different laws. You got to get fingerprinted for this. I think this city requires you to be fingerprinted for gun ammunition. This city requires this registration. You could get a college degree in California gun laws and still not know it. No one knows what the fuck is going on. Gun owners. I always tell you, if you don't know about your gun law, ask your gun dealer. Your gun dealer knows all about the gun laws. In California, that ain't true. Because in California, they're changing gun laws so fast, as your gun dealer is talking to you, as the words are coming out of his mouth, the gun law is being rewritten. And what he's saying to you is obsolete. Now, let's stop picking on California. Washington, D.C. I went to Washington, D.C. in 1996 when I was in 8th grade. 7th grade we went to Boston, 8th grade we went to Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., in case you forgot, has criminals. And I don't mean the criminals that wear the suits and ties. I mean the criminals that stand in the street corner and rob you. Washington, D.C. has every problem that any major city has, without the least bit exceptions. And in Washington, D.C., from 1976 up until 2005, there was a law. No handguns, except for law enforcement. So a citizen could not own a handgun. In addition to that, if the citizen owned a long gun, the citizen had to have the long gun field stripped, unloaded, and trigger locked. I think I'm on the minute mark or whatever the hell it is, so I'm going to stop and restart. Hold on.